So you're never apart from what you are. It's just everything, all the movements, all the thoughts, feelings and emotions appear in what you are. But we identify with them as being ours, being a me. But the thought I can see doesn't see, it's just a thought. You see that? The thought, I'm not there yet, isn't not there yet, it's just a thought. But what you are is untouched by the thoughts, always remain. So there can be this feeling of recognising truth, that you are the awareness, impersonal, unbound, and then there's an experience of losing that. All it is an identification with a thought that then is entertained. So once we entertain that thought, we then have that experience as if it's us experiencing it, but it's your true nature. That's all there is here. It seems very simple from once we've seen it, but I know how complicated. I remember thinking, how do I get rid of the ego if I'm the ego? So you see how I was identified with the thoughts, thinking there was an ego, that there was this mental idea of a me that I was adopting. But of course the I wasn't adopting anything, because the I is born out of this mental activity. There is no I. The I is a mental construct. And when we look in direct experience, we can never find this I. This one that seems to be talking to us is just invitations to life, to experience on a denser mode. So there is no I. It's just an experience life can have. How can I make it simple? There's no I here making it simple, you see. There is this space, I'll just get out of the window. There is this space in which thoughts appear. So the thought, how do I make it simple, appeared. And then it's not identified with. It's just a neutral thought that I can follow and experience. But the I is very neutral. It's not identified with. There's no sense that there's an I that's doing anything here. There is just sounds and sensations and thoughts and words appearing in this spaciousness. And the awareness doesn't have a boundary at the body. It just is. It's formless and impersonal. Yet can experience on a personal mode. So there never is a separate self. It's just an experience. Our unbound, totally free essence that we are. You know, it's not a person. The person appears in what you are. The person is a human experience, an experience of being human. So it's not that we're not the body-mind, it's the body-mind appears in what we are and is created by what we are. So, but it isn't just what we are. We never become just a body-mind. Because of identification with thoughts, we believe the thoughts are coming from me. So where are those thoughts coming from? Can you trace the thoughts back to anywhere apart from just spontaneously appearing? I know this is a tricky one, and that's quite often why I point to what's aware of the thoughts rather than trying to work out the thoughts. You know, what is aware of the thoughts? There's something that's aware, there's something that remains when the thoughts come and go. There's something that's aware of them. That's what you are, the witnessing, the awareness, the knowing of thoughts, the knowing of the view, the knowing of this video. There's something that's aware of it, and that's not a thought. It's not a thought-based identity. It's just awareness itself. Just feeling into what's here. It's unbound, it's ageless, timeless. It's all we've ever been. All of the appearances are born out of and made of this. This, you know, we say just this. It's a great pointer, because what is just this moment right now? Not something for the mind to get, because what we are isn't an item, isn't an object that the mind can work out and objectify, can I've got a big hill to go up. if I run out of breath, it's quite a steep hill. I can stop here and think, or rather not think. Okay, what are we? We are that's aware. And that's aware is just this. Not something that can be pointed to even. Because it's what we are. It's what we are. Life itself. You know, if we all just stop, anybody that's seeking or anybody feels like they're going in and out and it's frustrating. The frustration is part of the experience. It's just a resistance to the moment. And that resistance isn't a person resisting. It's just a sensation appearing in what you are, and we label it resistance, and then there's an I that's resisting. Can you see how everything that appears is just something appearing in this space? That what we are is the space. What we are is the space. The spaciousness. You know, because it's unbound. What's aware is untouched, is unaltered by whatever appears in the spaciousness that it is, in the unbound, totally free. Essence. It's not a thing, so can't be grasped, can't be pinned down. Just like the I can't be grasped or pinned down, can only be directly experienced, but not as an I experiencing, just as experience itself. We are experience itself. Just feeling into that, see if anything else wants to come, but really the silence is more potent than the words, because every time it's life introduces something else to what's here, it's sort of it's not apart from what we're talking about, but it's, if we only pay attention to the words, we miss where the words are coming from. The silence in which they appear is what we're looking for. Because that doesn't move, it doesn't go backwards and forwards. There's an experience of movement, but what you are is that in which all the movements appear. You know, the thought forms, the sound waves, the textures, the light patterns are all appearing in what you are. Just this sense of being here now. Not being as something, just being. I had a call this morning and there was this lovely moment where we both recognise that the moment is just gifting itself. This moment is just gifting itself, like it's just offering itself over and over again, naked and delicious, totally unbound and totally free. And then there's a tendency for life to be able to get all involved with itself and create something out of that gift of the present moment, the gift of the naked being, the gift of just this, just expressing itself and the rawness of itself, just offering itself over and over again in its deliciousness. And then there's a tendency to try and pin down what that is and make it into something. Or we can just die to it. And that death is just delicious, because the I that dies, it was never existed. There never was an I. It was just a creation born out of this that we never were. This is all we've ever been, this delicious naked offering of the moment, pure and unbound and totally free. And then we're back to the silence. We're back to the root of it all. To what's being pointed to. To what you are. I'm not pointing to what you are. It's not complicated. It's what you already are. I'm just pointing to that. I'm going up the hill now. The steep bit. Oh. See how my fitness is. Okay, what else wants to come when I just allow that naked moment to reveal itself? a gift. This moment is gifting itself to us. I'm not meaning I'm a gift in this video. Ridiculous. I'm meaning this moment is just gifting itself, in all its glory. And it doesn't even have to be in a beautiful forest, The moment is just, oh my goodness. How do I get this across? The moment is just totally delicious, and it's just revealing itself. Oh, it's just already surrendered. Doesn't need to do anything. All of that doing is appearing in what's already here. All of that managing of the moment is appearing in what's already here. Anything we think about it is a limitation, because it's already perfect as it's giving birth to itself. And then we have a tendency to get all involved and contrast and compare it and say, oh, but I thought it was going to be more exciting than this. I thought, I'm just like that tree shimmering. I thought it was going to be some big moment, some big shift. And there can be a shift, because it's a shift in perspective. You're looking from a separate self idea of a me, and then you recognise that me was only ever what was here always, and that me was what's been looking through your eyes and never changed all the way through your life. It's what you are. And there's a projection, there's a movement towards thought which narrows the view, and then there's got an experience of a me. But what you are remains. You're still the open view, you're still the broad view, it's just been filtered. We're just filtering our experience to create an idea of a me, but there never is a me. There only ever is this delicious, amazing present moment being reborn over and over again so fast we miss it. That's what it feels like. Don't take what I'm saying to be true. How does it feel for you? All these things don't come straight away. It's just a matter of seeing through the identification first. Seeing that what we take ourselves to be is just a limited view, a narrowed view. So if we open up our focus, we can recognise that what we are was never bound. It is always free. Even though the experience is quite intense and dense, and there is resistance, but there's no I resisting. Life can create resistance in order to experience itself in that denser mode, in that push and pull. And what even is resistance? What's resistance if we take away the label resistance? We could say intensity, drama. Take away those labels, what is it? It's just life. Lifing. In that shape, in that denser mode. It's just how life's viewing itself, experiencing itself in those moments. This gorgeous view is appearing. Is life just presenting itself? Is life just appearing as a view? Life appearing as a tree, life appearing as you. But what is that you? What is that tree? What is that view? It's just what we are, without labels, without narrowing, without categorising, without contrasting and comparing. It's all just this. We're back to just this again. And just this is frustrating to the mind. We can't do anything with it. But of course there is no mind. The mind is an idea. The mind is a concept that we all adopt and say, my mind. But where is the mind? There's just this again. There's just this, and then we apply all these concepts, labels and ideas to a me walking through a forest, talking to a screen. And that's all there, that's all fine, but who's actually experiencing it all? You never find an I, never find a me. If you feel like you're lost, it's just life. It's not a you, there's nobody to blame. You're not getting anything wrong. It's just how life can experience. Prior to labels and concepts and ideas and thoughts arising, what's aware of the thoughts? The I am. And even I am is a label. What's beyond the I am? What gives birth to the I am? It's not an individual I. I nearly tripped then. It's not an individual I. It's just it's a universal I. It's life experiencing itself as an I, never becoming an I. Okay, yeah, what else? There's something that remains untouched. You could say, oh, look at her laughing, having a nice time in the woods. But, you have no idea what's happening in people's lives, do we? What's happening in people's lives. So that's life experiencing life. What I do know is what I have experienced, what is known here. Just trying to make sure the language is a bit clearer. What's seen here is that what we are is untouched. Because what we fundamentally are isn't in the game of duality. Because what's dancing in the game of duality is life, is the one thing. So it never becomes anything. So it's untouched by the game, yet it can play in the game, and it can play as wisdom and unity. So it sees everything as itself. It sees clearly its fundamental nature appearing as everything. Or it dances in survival mode. It sees itself as a separate self that needs to survive, and there are dangers, and there is apparent others. That doesn't mean there's not dangers for the body-mind in the world of duality. I know there's an experience of being individual, and that's fine, and that's even nice. But what we are isn't an individual. The individual is life playing that role. So you're having an individual experience, trying to see unity. That's okay, because it's unity looking. And when we let go of the limitation of the idea of a me that's trying to work everything out, we recognise everything's already known. It's just self-knowing, because there's only one thing here, and it knows itself. There's not much silence in this video. It's really pumping it out. It's a different sort of energy today. And that's fine, it's just what's appearing. It doesn't even seem like there's a me here. It's not a Colette style, really. It's just what's flowing, just what's coming. So can you see it's not even in how Colette would do something. It's not that spaciousness, it's just like raw sharing. It's just life happening. It's raw and present and spontaneous and just what's happening. Lovely view again. What else? Okay, here's the silence. Just as I said, there wasn't any silence. Here comes the silence. The presence that we are is the background. Is the aliveness in which everything's appearing. I'm down a big hill now. It's just the aliveness that's here. But it's not. Although it's dynamic, it's what's giving birth to it is the spaciousness, is the silence. So. That's always there. I mean, maybe you can even hear it in the sound. What's giving birth to the sound of my voice is the silence, is the spaciousness, is what we are. Is rambling, is appearing in what we are. Your awareness, you are aware of. You just are. You are aware. And then there are things appearing that you can be aware of, or you can turn towards what's aware. And what's aware is the awareness aware of itself. And so when we turn towards what we are, that gives us chance to not be distracted. It's just the mind, which is a mental construct of a me that doesn't exist. See how creative we are. We collectively create an idea of a mind, and all will say, yes, there's a mind that distracts me, but it's just attention. It's just how life can interact with itself, create all these ideas and seem to shield itself. But of course, it never becomes any of them, so it's never lost. Oops, I'm running out of battery. So it's never lost. It's always free. Yet there's an experience of not being free, an experience of being lost. I think that's why it's confusing. You know, somebody will see their true nature and then feel like they've lost it, and it's a real experience. So you don't ever deny that. But what's experiencing it is totally free. That's why it's confusing. And then a couple of minutes of being pointed in the right direction, they see that and they're like, oh, it's okay. So I'm talking about a they. Who is they? It's life. Life can experience itself as lost or home. In reality, it never leaves home. It's just the movements are appearing within it, born out of it. It's shaping and patterning itself. But what's fundamental never changes. I know it comes across as confusing. But just gets clearer and clearer. There's no, for me, there's no big flash of it being super clear. There was just this recognition was the presence. And then there was still a belief in an I. And then when the I was pointed out to me by David Bingham, that I that's always been there, which you always knew, and I hope you do as well, there's something that's always been there throughout your life that you thought was a me, that is your true nature. It's just been identified as a me through the movements of thoughts, concepts and ideas adopted seemingly by a me, by an I, but it's only ever life. It's only ever life playing the role of a me, never becoming the role, never separating off and becoming a separate self me. So I think I'll leave it there. I might have gone a bit crazy with this video, but who knows, might land for somebody. So thank you for watching.